it's the Midnight Raven, and today we are tier ranking again. Today we are doing the tier list for Tim Burton movies. If you didn't know, I am a massive Tim Burton fan and have been for years, dating all the way back through the years and to the present day films. So if you're a big fan of Tim Burton, this will be the list for you. We're going to make a tier list, so we're going to rank Tim Burton's films in an order. So let's get to showing you what I mean by ranking them. So we are going to use a tier system. So the tier system is going to be that we're going to rank them as a must watch, an awesome, an average, or a meh. So here is the tier list. We have all the films down the bottom, as you can see down here. And we're going to rank them as must watch, awesome, average, or meh. And the fun about this is that you can also comment in the comments below what you think of all these movies, which is your favorite. Is there any I've missed that I should do a tier list on? And is there any other directors you'd like to see tier lists from? So if you haven't already checked out my previous tier list about horror movies, I will link that in the description. So let's get into this video. So today we are ranking Tim Burton movies. So let's put it to full screen. And the first movie we're going to rank is called 9. So this is obviously a Tim Burton movie. It's a sci-fi fantasy. It came out in 2009, so it's a fairly old one. It's about an apocalyptic war between humans and machine. The world is completely destroyed and void of human life. However, a ragdoll awakens and holds the key to saving humanity. Now, I've actually seen this quite a few years ago. Probably the same time as like Box Trolls, which is another movie by Tim Burton I don't have on this list. Personally, it was okay. It's not really I don't class it as a kids film. I class it as kind of a teenage adult film. I think some of the references in there are for more of an older person. So let's see. So do we think it's a must watch? Do we think it's an awesome? Do we think it's an average or a meh? I think we're going to go for average. I'm not dissing the film in any way, but personally, for me, I think it's just an all right film. Okay, moving on. Another film, which is another Tim Burton's. Obviously, this is a Tim Burton list. Is Alice in Wonderland. So what do we know about Alice in Wonderland? Well, Tim Burton wasn't exactly jumping at the bench to make this movie, but he did. He made it in 2010. Alice is 19 years old. She follows a rabbit with a blue cloak, ends up in this entire wonderland. She meets the White Rabbit. She meets the Mad Hatter. She meets the Queen of Hearts. And the idea is to realize her true destiny. She meets the Jabberwocky. It's the Cheshire Cat, obviously. It's a really cool film. It's artistically done. I'm not like the biggest fan of Alice in Wonderland, but I do like the way Tim Burton did it. So let's see. On the ranking, I think we're going to put it to awesome. It's not a must watch for me. It's more one of the kind of meh kind of Tim Burton films. It's all right, but it's not great. Okay, moving on. The next film we're going to rank is Batman. Oh, there's some doozies on this list as well. We can't have all good films. So this was Batman. It's about a masked avenger from Gotham who fights against evil. He must battle Jack Napier, who turns into the Joker and threatens to take over Gotham. Now, this isn't the worst movie done by Tim Burton, mind you. I think he did Batman Returns, which was horrendous. This I've seen once. Did I like it? Not really. Was it memorable? Absolutely not. So we are going to put the Batman in the meh. I know a lot of people will probably disagree with me, but I'm not a big Batman fan. I didn't really like Jack Nicholson playing the Joker. It just, yeah, I don't know. Just not for me. Okay, moving on from Batman to an old classic, and that is Beetlejuice. Who hasn't heard of Beetlejuice? So when a deceased couple, Ethel and Barbara, successfully they try to scare away a family that has moved into the home. So basically they die, their souls get trapped in the home, and then they want to scare the new people that have tried to move in. And they get the help of Beetlejuice, who claims that he can get them to leave. It's got some weird songs in it, some weird graphics, some weird art. It's not a bad film. It's not my favorite, but it is kind of cool. I mean, must admit, Michael Keaton's in it, Winona Ryder, Alec Baldwin, Gina Davis. It's got some big names. Really popular film to watch at Halloween. It's a laugh fest. Some of the jokes in it are a little bit crude, mind you. So we're gonna put Beetlejuice in awesome. So it is a really good film. It's just not tipping the scales for me for like an amazing film. Okay, so Beetlejuice gone. Next, Big Fish. Now Big Fish I've seen once, many years ago. So this came out in 2004, and basically Will Bloom returns home to care for his dying father. He has a pendant for telling unbelievable stories, and as he passes away, he tries to find out if the tales are really true. Now, I've only seen it once. I remember very little of the actual story. The graphics, the art, it's kind of okay. It's not what I'd say is the best film done by. So we're gonna put it in. Gonna put it in the meh. Honestly, for me, it's not a film I like tend to rewatch if it's from Tim Burton. But if you want to watch it, it is a fantasy drama, so it is kind of fantasy based, reality based, sort of in between the two. Okay, the next film we're going to look at is The Corpse Bride. So The Corpse Bride came out in 2005. Again, features some hard-hitting actors. You've got Johnny Depp, Helena Bonham Carter, of course, playing the bride and Victor. And then you've got Emily Watson in it, Albert Finney. So when Victor is practicing his wedding vows, he accidentally marries a skeleton in the woods. Of course he does, called Emily, who whisks him off to the land of the undead. It's got songs in it, a little bit of dancing. It's got humor. It's a really good kids film. So for me, I think Corpse Bride is a must watch. I think you should watch it at least once, personally. So, Dark Shadows. This is definitely an adult Tim Burton film. Basically, rich boy Barnabas earns the wrath of Angelica, who is a witch. And when he breaks her heart, she turns him into a vampire and buries him alive. Centuries later, he escapes and he has to settle his scores with Angelica. The Dark Shadows guy also had a fair maiden who Angelica ended up killing. And it's this whole two vampires against each other. It's cool, it's dark, it's got Helena Bonham Carter in it again, who plays a so-called therapist. You've got Eva Green in it. You've got Jonathan Frid. You've got Chloe Mortez in it. It's got some big names. Dembrowski's in it. You've got David Kennedy in it. So it's got a big thing. It's not one of those films where you watch it once and then you don't really need to watch it again. But it is so funny. There is a love scene in it, which makes me laugh every time I watch it. So we're going to put Dark Shadows in the average. It's not a great film, but it is a one that you can just like watch as a throwaway film and be like, I've seen it, let's move on. Okay, so one of the more controversial films that came out was Dumbo. And this was remaking Dumbo. So I don't know, a lot of people wanted Dumbo remade, if I'm honest. Some of the Disney classics I feel should be left as a Disney classic. So, a circus performer is tasked with caring for a baby elephant with oversized ears. But when it's discovered that Dumbo can fly, a wicked man tries to take advantage of him in the circus. So, I haven't seen the new Dumbo. I've seen trailers, I've seen adverts. The art style is kind of gritty and kind of Tim Burton. I'm not sure if it's a film I want to see. It's a fantasy period adventure, obviously with Tim Burton. It's a live action reimagining, so it's live animation with real people. So the elephant is basically an actual elephant rather than an animation on the screen. Like I said, I've seen trailers and that, so we're gonna put Dumbo in average because I haven't actually watched it. I've only seen trailers, and it does look intriguing. It's one of those films that you maybe want to watch once just to see what it's like. Kind of like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory when he remade it, and other films that have been remade by Tim Burton. So the next one is Ed Wood. So this is a drama and a comedy. It was one of the first films that Johnny Depp was featured in by Tim Burton. This was done in 1995, and basically, Ed Wood is eccentric and a strange director. He's a Hollywood outcast, but nevertheless, with the help of his former famous um, he develops a cast and a crew and a business for misfits. And in Ed's off-kilter vision, the filmmaker is able to make brilliant films. So um, I've seen, like I said again, this is Tim Burton. Sarah Jessica Parker's in it. Bill Murray, Martin Landau's in it. So it's got some big names. I haven't seen the entire film. I've seen clips and stuff like that, and I don't know if it really spoke to me. So we're gonna put it in the meh. I think it's one of those ones that I could probably just miss and not watch. Okay, another classic from Tim Burton is Edward Scissorhands. If you haven't watched Edward Scissorhands, you've been under a rock somewhere. It is my favorite film done by Tim Burton. It came out in 1991, and basically Edward was created by a professor. He tried to teach him how to be human. He was giving him a body. He was then going to give him human hands, and unfortunately, the professor died of a heart attack. He then carried to live on in this mansion, and then when an Avon lady came up one day and changed his entire life. He was then integrated into society. He had friends. He became popular. But of course, there is always someone against different people. And it's a beautiful tale. There's some gorgeous music in it, gorgeous scenery. It's more kind of contrasting between the light and dark. You've got the darkness of Edward Scissorhands, and then you've got the light with all the colours in the town and everything. And the songs are so beautiful. One of the songs in there is my favourite ever. It's where she dances in the shavings of ice, and yeah, it's one of those films we're going to put it in must watch. It's one of those films that you need to see at least once. If you've never watched a Tim Burton film, you've never heard of Edward Scissorhands, it's definitely one that I would give big thumbs up to at least watch it. Okay, Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. Now, I've only seen clips of this. I've never seen the actual film. This came out in 2016, so it's one of his fairly new ones. A young boy named Jake discovers a home full of children with supernatural powers run by Miss Peregrine, and soon he must help protect their home from enemies called Hologhasts. So it's not something I've been drawn to watch. I've seen reviews. It's got Eva Green in it, Asa Butterfield, Ella Prunell, and Samuel L. Jackson. But it's not a film that I was drawn to. I didn't really like the art style. I wasn't really feeling the film from the adverts. It's not one I've actually gone to watch. So we're going to put Miss Peregrine in there. It's not one that caught my eye, but with it being a Tim Burton film, it's probably worth at least a watch because of it being my favourite director. But it doesn't mean you have to like every film a director does. Now, another classic is Nightmare Before Christmas. Like I said, if you haven't watched this, Where Have You Been? It came out in 1994, and it's possibly one of the biggest things Tim Burton came out with. Jack Skellington is from Halloween Town, and he's kind of lost his way. He stumbles into a wood, he walks around, and he finds these trees. Now, each tree has a different symbol. You've got Christmas, St. Patrick's Day, I think it is, and then you've got a Christmas tree, which draws his attention. He then falls through the tree and into Christmas Town and decides that he's kind of sick of Halloween. They should steal Christmas. He becomes obsessed with Christmas and then ends up ruining it, but then manages to flip back to Halloween and Christmas is saved. So it's really artistic, it's creative, it's got really nice songs in it. It's one of those ones that you can watch at Christmas or Halloween. It's definitely a family movie, and it's definitely a must watch. Now, the last film on here is Pee-wee's Big Adventure. This was one of the first mainstream, I want to call it, that Tim Burton came to light with. It was in 1984, so going right the way back. Pee Wee Herman goes on a big adventure when his bike is stolen. He hitches across America, encountering various people and situations in his way to find his beloved bike. Now, it sounds crazy to make an entire adventure about a guy who had his bike stolen, but that's kind of it. It kind of gives me like Mr. Bean vibes, that kind of awkward man kind of in the environment he's in. I've only ever seen excerpts from it. I've never seen the entire film. It never really drew me to it, but it's got Paul Rubens in it. It's got Diana Salinger, Mark Holton, and E.G. Daly. So it's not got big names in it, but the music is composed by Danny Elfman, great composer. So Pee Wee Herman, we're going to put it in there because I haven't really seen it. So this is my first rendition of Tim Burton's must-watch list. So we've got Corpse Bride, we've got Edward Scissorhands and Nightmare Before Christmas in a must-watch. We've got Alice in Wonderland and Beetlejuice in awesome. We have 9, Dark Shadows and Dumbo in average. And in the Mare, we have Batman, Big Fish, Edward, Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, and Pee-wee's Big Adventure. So, question is, do you differ to what I've said? If you have, and you'd like to put your comments in the chat, if you want to put your comments in the comments below on what you thought Tim Burton's best films were, if there's any other directors you want to see me do a tier list on, if there's any films that you think I've missed by Tim Burton that I should do a second list, any list you think I should do on movies, TV, or any other topic, I'd love to hear. Hopefully you enjoyed this walkthrough of Tim Burton's greatest movies. These are only my opinions, of course. You can share your own in the chat. I'd love to see whether people beg to differ. But like I said, the must-watch movies, not necessarily saying they're the best ever, but the meh movies are also worth a watch. Anything by Tim Burton, I say, is worth a watch. He is my favourite director. And I love most of the movies he's done. Even the meh ones deserve a watch. So if you want to see more from me, big thumbs up, like, subscribe, and I'll see you very soon for another tier list video very soon. Take care and thanks for watching. Bye.